Hello to Grandmaster Vishnu Prasanna. He is with us and is doing a Q&A. Welcome to chess.com, Vishnu.
Thank you, Niranjan.
What was the moment in your life where you decided to also start teaching? How did you enter the coaching field?
In the beginning, it was just a way for me to support myself financially, and it turned out that I have a knack for that. One of my earliest students was Siddhant from Orissa.
Siddhant Mohapatra.
Yeah. He was the first player who became. He was my first student who became a title player.
Okay.
So he became an IM. After he started working, he became an IM. So after that, slowly people started asking me for training, and I continued to do that also. Yeah.
And which year was it when you actually started training others?
It was only 2016 or 15. I'm not entirely sure. I think
during that period.
Yeah.
And coming to the news of the hour, Gukesh. So when did you first realize that Gukesh is special?
He had very fine positional sense early on, right? So when we started working, our first group camp was in June, and then a month later we had an individual session. And a couple of months later, he made his first IM norm. So we had early successes. So after his first IM norm, and a few months later, he made his second IM norm, which was also his first GM norm.
Uh-huh.
So we had early successes. So I thought, he was not an average kid for sure, but you can never say how fast he's going to grow, right? So because every moment there is some stumble, and every moment something could go wrong. I knew he was very strong early on, from early on. Some of his moves were not easy for me. For a guy to play like that was, I think for 11-year-old to suggest some of the moves he suggested, I thought was very difficult. And I thought, okay, that's something new.
So was there any game, is there any game that comes to your mind right now, like a move that you thought of that game that made an impression on you?
We looked at a game, Kroegus versus Smyslow.
Mm-hmm.
And, Smyslow plays the game very interesting way. Smyslow without any aggressive, he outplays white without any aggressive brilliance. So especially the move like Rook FC8 in the game.
Queen C2 Rook FC8, yes.
Yeah, so these moves, it was actually quite natural for him at the time. Most 11-year-olds, this is not what they spot in the book. They rather spot some tactics and tricks and something like that. This is not the first thing they look at.
Yeah, this is a nice example. Thank you, Anna, for sharing it. You were with Gukesh when he was 2200. You are with Gukesh when he's right now 2700. So if you see this stage from 2200 to 2700, can you run us through critical moments of his career from your eyes? Like what were those moments where you saw the progress, leaving aside the rating, but you as a coach would know the games where the progress is coming?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint everything, no, but I'll share whatever I remember at the top of my head.
Yes.
So one thing for me was his first GM norm in Thailand, which he got with a little bit of luck.
Yes.
Not all.
Nigel shot one.
Yeah, he bet Nigel shot, and Nigel wasn't happy, but still, and also there was, it was not like a clean norm or so, but you need those things, I guess, right?
Yes.
So it just means fate is helping you. So even when you're not ready. So this was a moment, for him also, I think, maybe I can become a GM very quickly. So, right. So these are all moments that, you need, that gives you that small confidence. When he became a GM in Delhi.
Yes, that was a great moment.
Yeah, we always discussed that. And also I always advised against pursuing this youngest GM title. But it plays on your head. I think he was fairly upset about not finishing. He had an opportunity to finish it in Spain, but he could not do it. So he finished 17 days later in Delhi.
Yes.
Right. So that failure, and that also, I think that disappointment that, once, and understanding also helped him, he's reacting to milestones better.
Okay.
So
do you set the milestones, or he sets it on his own?
He sets it on his own. Whatever he can decide for himself what is a milestone. So nothing from me. So I just say that anyway, it's a long journey. So don't overestimate anything. Just try to keep your head in the zone. I think he reacted much better to the 2700 milestone, and definitely he didn't slow down there, which is always
Yes, good point.
Yeah, and after that, I think he was struggling a little bit in a certain sense, 2500 and some around 2570, 2580, and yeah, he was anyway strong, so he climbed up. I think he was still making some practical decisions which could have been easily avoided. Unforced errors without any brilliance from. He was still making unforced errors, which I think he managed to reduce. I think the most latest milestone, or I think for me, would be like his bad tournaments in Armenia. He was playing very well, and he climbed to 2640, and then he played 2 bad tournaments and he got down to 2614 or something.
Yeah, that's the number I remember very well, because that's when I met him in Kanpur, where he was 2614.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, we decided we have to regroup and do something more serious in order to cross 27. I mean, I thought he was ready actually, so I thought mostly if he maintains consistency, that should be. I mean, that was the key thing. I mean, after Armenia, he knew he had to be consistent. He knew that losing a game at this level is a fairly expensive endeavor. So he tried to really focus on that, and I think he's been brilliant for the last few months.
Yes.
No complaints. Yeah.
What is the strategy of playing multiple tournaments in a row? Do you think it's just Gukesh's thing that he likes to play multiple events and also win them back to back?
Yeah, the strategy depends on the player at the end of the day. Everybody eats according to their appetite.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the one thing that we discussed also. I mean, when he was very young, his appetite was higher. So I mean, it still remains very close, much more than the average guy, I guess. So he still likes to play a lot. So there's no need to really argue with that or fight against that. So I think if he can maintain that level, you can play a lot.
Yes, agreed.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
And what tournaments will Gukesh play in the coming days after the Turkish league? Are you aware of this?
Right now he's in the Turkish league, and he's playing in the Spanish league and the European Club Cup, and followed by the Tata Steel, I believe.
Yeah, we hope he gets invited.
No, I'm talking about the Rapper and Blitz. I think he's been invited there. I'm not sure.
Okay.
If he's been invited there, he'll play there, or he'll play in the World Rapper and Blitz in December.
That's great. I mean, it's still a very busy schedule.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, nowadays I think it's also very different now compared to 5 years ago even.
Yeah.
Value of preparation and stuff like that. You can only do so much by sitting at home. So I think everything changes too fast. So if you have the energy and appetite, you can play.
You mentioned that you felt that Gukesh was ready to make that climb. So you were not surprised with his progress in the last 3 months, right?
Yeah, not at all. Not at all surprised. I was not surprised till the Olympiad. Everything was fairly normal to me. I thought, okay, we're heading in the right direction.
Okay. And I observed that Gukesh had several second place finishes. How did you motivate him?
That's not how we work. It's not like I believe that everything should come from the self, discipline or motivation.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean, we have always discussed that only number one matters. So I think he was only hungry, and
so it was more intrinsic for him.
Yeah, definitely. Everything has to be intrinsic, and definitely number one is all that matters as well. So you don't really talk about number two, right? So
yes.
Yeah, I think he's always keen on finishing first wherever he plays.
And where do you see Gukesh in 1 year? Are you already having some thoughts, or you feel it's too early to talk about it?
I don't know. I don't really know yet, but I think he'll still keep going forward.
Yes.
I don't know how much further forward, but yeah, he'll go forward, I think, over the next 1 year.
All right.
And he'll get opportunities, against the elite. So to me, this is where the real challenger lies, and I think he'll be up to it. Yeah.
And if you had to attribute the number one skill to Gukesh's success, what would that be?
His appetite for chess, I think, for both studying and playing chess.
Okay.
I think so. He's a tremendous appetite for that, which I think is absolutely necessary for what he's done. I think this would be
number one. Yeah. This is something I wanted to just share, that when I met Gukesh and I asked him, what is that one quality that every chess kid must have, according to him. And he told me that it is the fighting spirit. Okay. And I was reminded of those words when I saw his win against Fabiano. He just walked the talk. He showed that it's a fighting spirit. Then, how many hours does Gukesh train? And do you emphasize on this number of hours thing?
We have never discussed such things. When the interest is there, you don't have to really worry about such things. So I think most of his day is spent on that.
Okay.
Unless he has almost his whole day, he doesn't. It's not just that the physical hours he's sitting on the board. The guy's brain is always working to see how can I improve. That is what is very powerful. I think he's always thinking about how can I improve, not just when he's training or not just when he's sitting on the board. So,
did you speak to Gukesh after his soul-crushing loss to Abdul Sattar of Nodirbek?
No, I just left him a message. I didn't want to. I was not present at the venue, so I left him a message that such things happen in chess too, right? So, and he has been there before. I think this is not his first soul-crushing loss. So,
okay.
I did not leave it. I just left a message, but I don't think he even saw it. So he likes to be in his own
zone.
Yeah, during the event. So I don't interfere with him. I think Vishy had a long talk with him, trying to console him, and I think he was fine after that, and he even played the last round.
Yeah, I recently got to know that Gukesh had not used engine until he became a GM, or even after that, he had not used engine. So, yeah. Was this a mutual decision, or was this your approach? What was the story?
No, I told him it doesn't make any difference, and it's an idea that he can pursue.
And he pursued?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's the only one who pursued.
But I have a doubt here. If he doesn't check with the engine, let's say after the game is over, most of them are curious, so they just check engine to see evaluation, the bar. He doesn't use at all. Like he said that he had not used at all. So he would pursue the right continuations and the correct moves on his own.
Yeah. Only on his own. Just like the old times. Nothing new.
I mean, it's new for us.
15 years ago. No, just 15 years ago, without the engines. I mean, I thought it was just I thought it would help him develop his own thinking process. It would sharpen him much more fast.
I mean, I personally learned a lot from this interaction and got to know various things about Gukesh. So thank you very much, Anna, for your time. And I also wish the best for your future endeavors, the tournaments that you're going to play. You gave us time despite your heavy schedule. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Niranjan, for having me, and good luck. Thanks. Nice to have this chat with you.